Okay, I don't know if there's anybody in the chat right now or not. There was somebody in there when I went to go get the lighter for my sage, and I know that a lot of times it won't show up on YouTube or it won't show up, and I'm not really concerned. Whoever catches this later or, stops by while I'm here, welcome. Okay. I am going to go ahead and get started. It is 3:46 a.m. Okay. And we are listening to this is actually a different channel, Transformation and Miracle Meditation Music. And this is their full body healing and recovery frequency. Okay, so it's a detox and cleanse healing therapy music. Okay, so this is what we're listening to in the background. But what I wanted to talk about, and the reason why I chose that particular this particular frequency is because of the cleansing. It's about detoxing, cleansing, full body healing and recovery. Is because I personally have been feeling the need to just cleanse a lot, like using all I probably I have bought, I remember buying about 10 bottles of uh rose water, okay, because I add that to my baths. And then you guys know I use my river rocks in my baths. And I add a lot of different things to my baths, okay. So river rocks, my blend of river water, okay, which contains Florida water and some other things. I add a lot of those things to my baths, and I take those baths every night, or almost sometimes I feel like taking them more than once, okay. So I've just been feeling um guided by my spirits to just cleanse, and it's more than just a physical cleansing, okay. It's more of like, the physical cleansing is symbolic, but the reason why we use things like flower essences, the rose water, which is very well known, through, for spiritualists who know what they're doing, who know what they're talking about, the value of rose water, okay. It's very close to an essence of a flower that, it probably is the same essence, okay, of a flower that is found in the higher realms. And so flower essences help to purify our energetic field. So I use a whole lot of rose water, okay. Rose water, Florida water, rue water, a lot of different waters that you can use. But basically, I've been doing a lot of cleansing, okay. With the sea salt, with the Himalayan pink salt, spiritual cleansing, physical cleansing, all the same thing when you're doing like your spiritual baths, or if you're using like the river water or whatever after you're taking a bath. In my shop now, I'm also offering a couple of soaps. So I have like a sulfur-based soap, which we know also helps to do spiritual cleansing. Okay, and so I do have some products in my shop that will help with it. But the reason why we need to be doing all of this cleansing is so that our auric field is cleansed, because over the years, the human being, as a collective, our collective aura. Remember when I was talking about how the new earth had a glow around it? Yeah, and and basically that's how it should be anyway, you know what I'm saying? But because of all of the debris and heaviness and dense, and low vibratory experiences and everything that we have, all of our auras have been dimmed, okay? And so along with the energetic, the emotional, the psychological cleansing and purging that we're doing, it's basically, where it's all about cleansing that auric field and making sure that our heart centers are clear and that our auras are clear. Okay, so your auric field is like an energetic cloak that surrounds your physical and etheric body. Okay, so people can see it. Those who are sensitive can see it. Okay, some people's cloaks are comprised of light. Okay, like a halo, like a glow. Okay, and some people's have a shroud of darkness around them, as their auric field. Okay, comprised of whatever they're holding on to that is impure. Okay, and so a lot of us, especially people like me, we're very sensitive to, even if you're not able to physically see the person's auric field, you can definitely feel it. Okay, most people who are spiritually inclined on some level, you will be able to see or feel this cloak that I'm speaking of. So like I said, some people have a cloak of light and some people have a shroud of darkness around them. Okay, it's just their auric field, it's their energetic imprint, it's their energy frequency and vibration. Okay, and so, but those whose auras that project light, you have the potential to become a light worker. Okay, and your physical bodies are most likely, if you have been doing this work, then you're probably going through the process of receiving upgrades. Okay, most of us are, okay? As you know, we have a lot of God particles that have been lying dormant in our cells, and now they're beginning to ignite one another and to cause a noticeable transformation, okay, in a lot of different people, okay? And so what's happening is a lot of you have probably felt an excessive need to cleanse like I have, and like I said, for me, it's just manifesting as constantly wanting to take a bath, you know what I'm saying, to use my salt, to use my rose water, you know what I'm saying, to just wash my hair, to keep my scalp cleansed. But as a collective, all of humanity is going through like a mass purification process, okay? And so in this mass purification phase, basically what you're doing is preparing yourself for a further expansion of consciousness, okay? That's part of the ascension, that light workers have been, cleansing so much for, okay? Because you're cleansing of the aura of like all of the negative, discordant, distorted vibrational debris that cause whatever, miscreations that you've manifested in this lifetime, okay? And it has kept this auric field dim. Like I said, as a collective, the whole human auric field has been dimmed, okay, when it should be lit. Okay, and so the cells of higher consciousness that are coming to life within your cells now, as your God particles are starting to come to life, they are beginning to cleanse some of this debris from your auric field. And so some of your auras are going to begin to, be more radiant, as it's basically a transformation, but it's a transformation from the inside out, okay, beginning at a cellular level. So the God particles that I'm talking about, the prana that I'm breathing, that I talk about breathing in, they are literally like little extra bright particles of light, particles of God particles, okay? And they basically transform you from the inside out. So what happens when you start to go through this ascension process is that the light within your cells, that's at the center of your very cells in your DNA, they begin to start being ignited, okay, from the inside out, like I said, at a very cellular level. And so there are toxins stored in your cellular body, that have to either be released or refined, okay? And so the reason why this has to happen is so that you can integrate the higher frequencies and harmonize with the newer, with your new multidimensional self that you're actually transforming into as these lights come on, okay? So basically it's like little lights turning on inside the cells of the light workers on the planet, okay, the star seeds, the empaths on the planet. And so, like I said, the toxins that are stored in those cells, they begin to be moved around. They're either going to be released in some way, shape, or form, or refined, okay? And this is so that, again, we can integrate or reintegrate, okay, the higher frequencies that harmonize with the higher, our higher selves, so that we can be more multidimensional and integrate our little self with our big self, okay? And so the God particles within us, they have been dimmed, okay? Basically because the God particles in us have been dimmed, and they were basically lying dormant, okay? And because they were lying dormant, then our auric field has been like foggy and dim, okay? So what's going to start happening as we, the awakening continues, as people continue ascending and purifying themselves, is that your auric field is going to become more radiant, okay? And a lot of that debris is going to be blasted out by the light, okay? But basically, and this is, when I'm speaking of your auric field, it's not just of this one lifetime, and the journey is not just of, this one lifetime, but it's a journey of the soul, okay, that is actually taking place. And so what's in your auric field is a lot of, negative energy, and stuff that is congested with negative energy from, several lifetimes. Okay. But even if it was from this one lifetime, it would be due to constantly allowing your ego, okay, the ego part of you, to convince you to constantly be seeking bodily pleasures, bodily sensations, okay, through whatever forms of, self-indulgence that comprise your quote unquote weakness. Okay. So, this is how your auras have become dim, is by basically following the ego and letting our ego self, or, that we, because most of us are identify with the physical body as the self. Okay. And so, if you feel like, I want to eat some ice cream, or I want to eat all these carbs, or whatever it is that you want to do. It's hard to tell yourself no when you think that, when you identify with your physical body as the self. Okay. So it's like constantly eating junk food, every day, not really giving your body any real nourishment or any sustenance. It's like drinking Coke every day and not really drinking any water. Okay. And so your body is not getting what it needs in order to properly function. Okay. And so over time, it'll begin to break down and deteriorate. Okay. And basically, this is what has happened to your auric field. After being in such a dense reality and surrounded by such chaos and negativity. Okay. So, physical reality is just one of the realities that we as humans are experiencing simultaneously. Okay, we all have mental, emotional, astral, and physical bodies. Okay, and so all of those bodies must be in a state of health. Okay, and that state of health has everything to do with, the quality, especially, your physical body state of health, has everything to do with your quality of life. I mean, your mental body, your psychological body, those all have everything to do with, your quality of life and how much enjoyment you're going to be able to get out of this life. Okay. The whether, you're going to be able to be physical, what I'm saying, whether you're going to enjoy this physical um realm, or whether it's going to feel like a hindrance, whether you're going to always feel restricted in it. Okay. So the awakening is basically a process of, I just saw my sage move by itself, so I guess that was a cue for me to go ahead and light it. But anyway, um the awakening is a process that begins with the balancing, and harmonizing of the chakras, which are your energy centers, in your emotions and your mental bodies. That is the beginning of the ascension process. Okay, is to begin to first balance your physical body, okay, and the chakras that are in your physical body, the energy centers in your physical bodies, and then also your emotional and your mental bodies. Okay, so you can gradually achieve alignment with the unified field of love and light that I always talk about, so that you can basically become part of the unity consciousness of the higher realms. Okay, and from this unity consciousness, then we can progress into the higher realms. But you first have to achieve that unity consciousness. Okay, and that begins with you first balancing the energy centers in your own physical body. Okay, so I talk about how, most human beings are narcissistic in nature, which equals not being in alignment, okay, with the unified field of love and light, with not being in alignment, you know what I'm saying, with that unity consciousness that I'm talking about. And so with most people being narcissistic and not being in alignment, um, you know, basically, in order to ascend beyond the physical realm, like most of the ascended masters in the past have had to leave the body our plan is to, they completed that ascension before us by leaving the physical body. Our plan is to ascend in the physical body. However, given where we are now in our evolution, having most people still being narcissistic in nature, it's again, I want to point out that it's a journey of the soul and not of one lifetime. So for some people, it will take or has taken many lifetimes. A lot of us have been here many times. Okay, so basically, the ones who completed the ascension before us, they planted the seeds, okay, thousands of years ago in preparation for this physical ascension process that we are attempting to do right now, okay, for the physical ascension process to even be possible, okay. But like I said, at this point in humanity's state of evolution, in order to ascend in the physical body right now, you'd have to completely transform your physical body into the frequencies of it, a certain frequency of light, okay, and also to raise the harmonics of your soul song, which I mentioned a while back, but it's more, it can be likened to when I was talking about how I was howling the other day, and the howling then turned into more of like a musical note that I knew that I needed to hold that note, and that note was converging with other light workers who were for some reason being prompted to hold a certain note, vibration, frequency at that time, okay. And so basically, in order to make the ascension process in the physical body, even though it has been made possible at this time, there's still a whole lot of work that people would have to do in order to be able to actually cause it to happen, because of a lot of people's states of minds. Welcome, Maria. You think that you are starting to dream about your past lives. That's wonderful, because that just means that you have accessed your Akash and your Akashic record. And this is the record of your, the whole entire record of your soul. And so that's a good thing. And it's something that should be happening at this time as we are becoming multidimensional. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, in order for us to transcend dimensions in the physical body at this point in evolution, we would have to be able to raise our soul song, that note, that tone, to like the highest planes of the highest, of the fifth dimension and above, like I said, like when I was howling. And so the ascension process is one of the soul, okay, which has lived many lives. It's not just, it doesn't happen all in one lifetime. And so it's very funny that you would mention, Maria, that you feel that you've started to dream about your past lives, okay? Because again, all is as it should be as we are becoming multidimensional and beginning to remember, which is to put back together the scattered parts of ourselves, okay? So that's what's happening as you are, remembering some of your past lives, because again, a lot of us have been here many times, okay? And so this is where the etheric body comes in, okay? Because the etheric body is a complete replica. It is real. It's authentic. It's an authentic replica of your physical, mental, and emotional bodies, okay? And so this is your ethereal body, and this is where you go, this is what you use to travel through the astral realms and in the astral, okay? Unfamiliar places, people in different languages. That's amazing too, Maria, because again, it's still another, it's indicative of you becoming multidimensional, okay? And we do exist in many dimensions, some of those that we do remember because they're closer to where we are now, and some we don't remember that would seem absolutely new to us, okay, because of how far away from those places that we are, and some of those places we haven't visited because they are new, okay? So again, we're in a very exciting time, okay? And those dreams are more like because they're not dreams, because we tend to think of dreams as being something that's not real, and what you're actually doing, Maria, is actually traveling. And like I was talking about, you have an etheric body, okay? And it's a replica of your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. And this is the body that you use to travel. Okay. This replica is connected to your physical body, okay, by an energetic cord that, that can stretch immeasurable distances. Okay. This is just like when you meditate, or if you know how to astrally travel, when you leave here, because you don't have to die to leave your body. And so when we leave our bodies, the cord, that etheric cord that I'm speaking of, is what keeps us connected to the body. And when I say, it keeps us connected to the body, it's because I want you to identify with the spirit as the self and not with the body as the self. The body is just a vessel, okay? It's a physical vessel. And so we really need to begin to identify with the spirit as the self. So the part that is traveling and leaving and going and having other experiences, that's you. Okay, it's not your spirit, but it's you. And the body is what is just what you're using in order to experience this particular plane of existence. Okay, but the part that's doing the traveling is who you really are. Okay, the spirit is your true identity. Okay, and so when you die, okay, the cord is severed, okay, and then you leave the physical vessel for good. That particular physical vessel you no longer have use for, and so you leave it for good. Okay, so I want people to really begin to see death in a different way, because they see that, a lot of people seem to feel that when the physical body dies, that they have died, when really what has happened is that the spirit has moved on to have other experiences, okay, in other planes, in that we are life itself, okay. And so there is really no such thing as death, okay, to one who identifies with the spirit as the self, okay. So what sometimes still lingers after people die is a shell, okay, of their subtle body, okay, and that is composed of mental, astral, and emotional residue, okay. And this is what most people will see as a quote unquote ghost, okay, of someone, okay. And so, but that energy, it has to be dissolved, okay, before that spirit can move on to the next level of conscious awareness. So those of us who can see spirits, who feel, who see those subtle bodies, okay, like I said, they are composed of mental, astral, and emotional residue from when the person was actually, from when the spirit was, with the body. If you know how to help, if you see these quote unquote ghosts, and if you're able to, then try to help them move on to the next level of conscious awareness, okay, because they're still trying to, their consciousness is still trapped in this realm, but they don't have, a body or anything to be able to do anything in this realm. And so sometimes they need help to be moved, towards the light, or, whatever people want to call it, okay, because there are schools of thought that feel like the light sends you right back into the reincarnation situation and all of that. But basically, that residue, that residual mental, astral, and emotional energy, it has to be dissolved, okay, before the person can move on from this plane after death to the next level of conscious awareness, okay. So we don't want to, be consorting with quote unquote ghosts. Okay. There's a difference in, venerating ancestors, working with deities, and then seeing, ghosts who are like lost spirits, who that this is what they feel like, because their consciousness is focused in one place, but they no longer are, they no longer have a physical vessel in order to actually be in that place. And so they need help moving on to the next level, where they can be aware of who and where they are, okay. So we are literally composed of mental, emotional, astral, physical, and spiritual units of energy, okay, literal microcosms of God, little sparks of divine consciousness, okay. And so as an awakened or self-aware co-creator, Okay, because we know that that's what our our God is a very compassionate creator. Okay, so this is what we are. We are microcosms of that same creator. Okay, and so as an awakened creator, you also have the power to direct energy via your own thoughts, actions, and intentions. Okay, and they must be backed by strong emotion, which is energy in motion. Basically, the emotion provides the fuel. Okay, but you do have the power to direct to direct energy. Okay, and so this is what us quote unquote witches or spiritualists or whatever you want to call us, this is what we do. We direct energy. Okay, using our own thoughts, our intentions, some actions. Okay, we have strong enough emotions to be able to push that out into the reality and cause some changes to happen. Okay, it's cosmic law that you experience the effects of your thoughts and your actions. Okay, and so due to your state of, it's basically, your mental state of mind, your emotional state, um, you know, um, the nature, basically your emotional state and your mental, your what am I trying to say? It's not physicality. What the hell am I trying to say? Basically, it's just your mental body and your emotional bodies. Okay, the nature of your mentality, basically your overall disposition determines the outcome of your manifestations and what they're going to look and feel like for you. Okay. I feel and see spirits, especially those that have recently died. Yes, my grandmother did not move until her great grandson was born. See, yeah, so that's exactly what I mean. And a lot of us feel and see those spirits. And so that is what you're seeing. Okay. So basically, a lot of times they linger around because they still have something or someone that they are connected to in this realm. And so this is why, they hang around for a while. Okay. So a lot of times, not every quote unquote ghost that you see is a lost spirit. Some of them have decided to stick around, like your grandmother. She seems like that she intentionally he was here, wanted to stay here and was waiting, for a certain thing. I've experienced a lot of times where, it felt like people were waiting to leave their bodies, waiting for a certain person to arrive, or waiting to be able to say goodbye to somebody, or waiting, or even after they've left their body, they hang around in order to wait to see someone accomplish something, or to help, someone accomplish something, or to comfort a loved one. So, there are many reasons why, we have a lot of different, disembodied spirits here. But for the most part, they're not something to fear. Okay, and most of us, if we see them, we've probably been seeing them our whole lives, and so you kind of, it's more than just seeing. You kind of feel the nature of, of what they are and who and what they are as well. Okay, but your job here is to become a master director, okay, of cosmic energy forces. Okay, and so some of us do it already on a smaller level. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Consciously directing, this energy, consciously directing forces to do and create certain effects. Okay, and so like for me, when the whole George Floyd case was causing this uproar, my spirits specifically told me to be still, to practice detachment. Okay, and to become a conscious observer. Okay, and not to allow my energy, or my attention to be drawn into these vortexes of negative energy being created by other people, okay, for their own personal reasons. She was very worried about my mother. She communicated that to me, okay, after he was born. I know she went to yes. Oh, that's a beautiful experience to have, Maria. And so you are very much, we have a lot in common. And so, yes, like I said, they will linger around to see something be accomplished in order to help something, get done when they have unfinished business, and most definitely to look after their loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And so it shouldn't be something that people fear, okay, but it because we are all spiritual in nature, okay, our true identity is our spirit, okay, and so when we quote unquote die, we literally leave behind the vessel, okay, and so the vessel is not who we are, but the spirit, the life that is animating the vessel, that is who you are, okay, and that can animate anything. It is life itself. It does not die. Okay. But like I said, when the whole George Floyd thing was going on, something told me to just, to be still, okay, to not be drawn into it, that these were vortexes of negative energy being created by other people for their own purposes. Okay. So, we have to learn as light workers, especially as the empathic ones, to stand firm and in control, as the director of our own sacred energy. Okay. And so if you do have an occasional meltdown, okay, like I had this morning or yesterday, I guess because it's the new moon. I don't know when the new moon is, it today or yesterday or tomorrow. It's coming because I can feel it. Okay. I always know within my body more than anything. Okay. And so, when you do have that occasional meltdown, just take a moment to, ground yourself, recenter yourself, and, get back to healing the earth, because, you're still human. Okay. The ascension process is, it's one of it comes in waves, and there's times when because you are fully human and you're fully divine, okay, but the true ascension process begins when your soul has basically resumed her seat behind the wheel of your life, okay, and this is when your DNA is activated. This is when the God particles that are stored in your cells begin to ignite one another like little lights coming on all over inside the physical body, okay? And so then the physical body, basically this initiates a whole transmutation process where, you know, a lot of painful memories may rise to the surface, toxins of all sorts, emotional traumas of all forms, all these things that have been stored in your energy centers, in your cells throughout several lifetimes. They come to the surface to be transmuted. Okay. And this process of transmutation is very uncomfortable. Okay. It's not fun at all. And people can call it ascension symptoms. It's the same thing. It's basically a process of transmutation where, again, all of these toxic emotions, experiences, memories, all come to the surface to be transmuted by the light. Okay. And so, some people get body aches, you get flu-like symptoms. Okay. Hint, hint. Okay. Body aches and pains, headaches, temporary losses of time, confusion, temporary memory loss. Okay. What's happening is that basically your cells are beginning to respond to the light, okay, as a main source of energy, more so than food and dense things that you put into your body. Okay. And so basically, as your cells are beginning to respond, because they're being activated, they're turning on. So now they understand that you are comprised of light. So they begin to respond to light as a main source of food, okay, of energy. And this is why a lot of us are beginning to radically change our diets to less dense foods, because our physical and emotional bodies are being saturated with prana, the food of the gods. Okay. You had one yesterday. You had a dream yesterday. I missed something, Maria, because I was talking, you know what I'm saying? But Yeah, what I'm talking about, everything that I'm talking about is happening in real time. Oh, you probably said you had a meltdown yesterday. I think mine was yesterday too. I can't remember. It's like I said, I'll be losing time and everything. So it was either yesterday or this morning, and I'm like, I'm so tired of this. Like, so tired of feeling everybody's emotions and stuff. So yeah, you had a meltdown yesterday. Yeah, it has something to do with the moon too, girl. I know it because I can always feel when the moon is either full or new. It always affects me on very profound levels. Okay, but basically, the more refined your energy becomes, your physical senses might become more enhanced. Like me, I feel like I can hear every damn thing, okay? People down the block, okay? Not just in the next building, but on the next, you know what I'm saying, around the block. I feel like my ears are just, I can hear everything. So your physical senses might become very enhanced. Your experience of colors and sound, they will increase, okay? Because what it is a result of all of these dense, restrictive, heavy energies that have been there and had your senses being dull. They have kept humanity in this illusion of this dull illusion, okay, for generations. And so now this energy is finally being cleared away by the light within your cells, and they are igniting one another. And so this is basically going to result in us having more radiant auras, okay, and also seeing the radiance in the life force and everything else around us, okay. And so as more people awaken to the truth, of who and what we are, everything is just going to start to brighten up, okay. It's literally like, when that light bulb comes on, okay. And so yeah, the physical body and its senses have to gradually be reintroduced to this living light and its transformative effects, okay. And so a lot of us, a lot of days I don't want to eat anything, and I end up eating, but it'll be like late at night, which is not good. But I'm feeling like, because it's like everything feels too heavy. I don't want to eat, and I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade, a lot of water, you know what I'm saying, and liquids. But it's like when I think about what I want to eat, like everything I think about feels like something that's going to be too heavy. So I'm completely resonating with this energy, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, we have to be gradually reintroduced to this living light and the way that it transforms our body. I mean, we are literally changing from caterpillars to butterflies, my people. Okay. And so instead of focusing on all the chaos that's happening in the old world that's passing away, right now, we have to learn to live each day centered within our solar power center, in our sacred heart center, so that we can integrate as many of the God particles as possible. Basically, I explained the process before, but it's like, we want to breathe in as much prana as possible to like fill up our whole body with this love and light. Okay. And then we want to send it down into the earth's core to help heal the earth. Okay. This is your job as a light worker. Breathe that prana in as deeply as you can. Hold it in your heart center. Okay. And then send it mentally down into the center, into the earth, the core of the earth. Okay. And then also out into the world. Okay. The joint efforts of the light workers who are doing this around the world, you are making a difference, okay? And that difference is an undeniable force that is literally causing all of these changes that are happening in our world. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I think I've said quite a bit, okay, for the moment. It is 4:25 a.m. Once again, we are listening to transformation and miracle meditation music. This is full body healing and recovery frequency. This is for detox and cleansing. Okay, so this is healing therapy music. Maria and whoever else is lurking in the bushes, I do thank you for sharing this time and space with me. I do hope that the information that came through will be truly helpful to you on your path. Okay, and until we meet again, keep it classy, keep it clean, Do what you got to do to make shit happen. Relax, my people. Peace.